Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Noraida Negron. I'm the Public Information Manager for the City of Laredo. We're here today to celebrate a significant achievement for the City of Laredo, the awarding of a little bit over $3 million in federal funding from the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, also known as COPS, the COPS grant through the Department of Justice. This funding will be used to hire 25 new police officers here in our community, further enhancing the safety and the security of the City of Laredo. Before we continue with the program, I would like to present our special guests that they're here with us this morning. The Mayor of the City of Laredo, the Honorable Dr. Victor Trevino, and his wife, Ms. Rosa Marquez Trevino. U.S. Representative from Texas District 28, the Honorable Congressman Henry Cuellar. Representing the Webb County Sheriff's Office, the Honorable Martin Cuellar, is Mr. Dennis Garcia, Commander Special. Representing our City of Laredo, the City Manager, Mr. Joseph Neff. Assistant City Managers, Mr. Steve Landin. And also Assistant City Manager, Mr. Jose Valdez Jr. And the Laredo Police Department Chief Miguel Rodriguez Jr. These 25 police officers will be strategically placed in high activity areas. This flexibility will allow our police force to respond swiftly, of course, to emerging issues and allocate resources where they are needed the most. Before we continue, I would like to ask or welcome our Mayor of the City of Laredo, Dr. Victor Trevino, to the podium for his remarks.
Thank you and good morning, Dr. Victor Trevino, Mayor for the City of Laredo. I'm happy to be here today to talk about the importance and the significance of federal funding to hire 25 new police officers for our community. Do want to thank Congressman Henry Cuellar to bring this type of funding to our community. We just finished celebrating the National Night Out yesterday evening. The City of Laredo is committed to making sure that our community is safe and secure. And as mayor of this great city, I always tout that we're one of the safest cities in the country. And more importantly, what this means to have an incredible law enforcement program that always is striving to make things better. So I thank you for that, Chief Rodriguez. Thank you very much. With that being said, there's still a lot of work to do, and we're faced with new types of crimes in our youth population that we have seen, which is very concerning to me. But I know that with these new officers and many more, we will be safer and continue to be one of the safest cities in the country. So I commend you for everything that you do, and we'll do everything in our power to make sure that everyone that wears a badge will come back to their families safely. But before I go, I know that we will continue to make more strides with law enforcement, but the only way we can keep advancing and getting more funding is to make sure that we have higher turnouts in voting. So please, irrespective how you're going to vote, make plans to go to vote in our community. Early voting starts October 21st, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for your service. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to welcome Justice of the Peace, Judge Danny Dominguez. Thank you so much for being with us today. Sorry. Next, let me introduce you to our Honorable Congressman Henry Cuellar to the podium for also some remarks on this outstanding COPS grant.
Thank you so much, Mariana. And Mayor, it's always a pleasure. I know we're just outside, and they asked me why I left that event that was over there by a bridge. I said one word or two words: air conditioned. That's why. So I got here. But Rosa, it's always a pleasure. Chief, again, congratulations to you and to all the men and women that work for you. Congratulations to the city management. Congratulations. This just doesn't happen. We appropriate the money, and I always put funding for the COPS program. It's a grant program that works very well. But you gotta go up there. The trips that you do to DC are so important. They gotta know you, they gotta know Laredo. And in fact, you all have done such a good job that this is the second grant in 2 years in a row. So congratulations to the city of Laredo. Now, before we get started, we got copies. I want you to go ahead and look at the chart. Just yesterday I put out, and I've been putting this stats on crime, both murders and non-murders, the violent crimes. I've been doing this for the last more than 10 years. And if you look at it for the last 10 years or longer, the border has been safer than other areas. And I've gone, if you look at it, you will see murder rates for selected cities in the United States and then border communities. And you will see time after time, I used Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't use Springfield, Ohio. New Orleans, Washington, D.C., and I can tell you it is pretty dangerous there. And then you have other cities, and then you have the border communities. Laredo, Brownsville, El Paso, McAllen, they're over at the low part. It's these are the violent crimes. And the same thing when you look at the murder rates also, the national murder rate is 5.7 murders per 100,000. The border crime rate is below the national rate year after year after year. But we still get people from Washington and Austin that come here and they attack the border. And that affects us in so many ways. It affects us from attracting doctors, professors in other areas because they think it's dangerous coming down to the border. And you will see even on the border, on the murder rate per 100,000, you have New Orleans, you have Washington, you have Cleveland, Ohio, and other places that are more dangerous. Then what I did, and I got handouts if you want the copies to take home with you, I then also compared them to Texas cities. And again, you have Houston for the murder rate, Houston higher than the national rate. You have San Antonio, and I represent part of San Antonio also. San Antonio, 10.9 murders per 100,000. Then you have Waco, a rural area. And then you have Austin. Austin, again, is above the murder rate, the national murder rate itself. And then you have El Paso, McAllen, Brownsville, Laredo, Rio Grande City. And you will see, and the same thing for violent crimes, you will see that even here in Texas, the murder rate and the violent crime rate compared to Texas cities are lower. So when people come in from Austin and they come and attack the border, they ought to look at Austin first, and they ought to look at Houston, Dallas, and the other areas instead of coming down here attacking the border. So I wanted to go over this so you can just take a good ideas. And again, year after year, I've been doing this for so many years, year after year, the border crime rate is lower. And I think you were just talking about some of the recent numbers. These are the last year's, but some of the recent numbers are even better in Laredo, even better in Laredo. So I say this because I certainly, Mayor, to you and the chief and all the men and women that work for y'all, congratulations, because y'all have been doing a fantastic job. It doesn't just happen, it just doesn't happen. It takes a lot of work. So to the men and women on the streets, to the detectives, to everybody working here, I just want to say congratulations. The announcement today is $3.1 million of federal dollars that comes from the Department of Justice Community-Oriented Policing Services COPS program. This is one, as I mentioned, I put money and I fight along with other folks, Democrats and Republicans. We put money in the COPS program because it works. It works very well. But again, it doesn't happen, and that's why your visits to DC are so important. This will provide funding to law enforcement agencies to hire new officers. These funds will increase the policing capacity and crime prevention efforts in our community. And I know what y'all did last night, the events that y'all do are so important because you gotta get the community involved. This money will cover up to 75% of the salaries and benefits for 3 years. Then after that, the local taxpayers will pick up. But again, it's a start and it's a catalyst to make sure that we hire this policeman. Each police position can receive up to $125,000 in federal support. It's expensive. Border security is expensive, policing is expensive, but a society without law and order is not a society, and this is why what you do is so important. This $3.1 million will allow the city of Laredo to hire 25 new police officers. Last year, Laredo got 1.8, almost $1.9 million to hire another 15 officers. So in 2 years, Laredo will be getting 40 new police officers, and congratulations, Chief, to you and your leadership itself. And if you look at the COPS program, mainly from the time that I've been around, 234 police officers have been hired by the COPS program. 234 police officers have been hired by the police under the COPS. And again, this is so important to make sure that we keep Laredo. It would increase permanent beat officers in problem areas, hotspots, improving the police and citizen contact, whether it's coffee at McDonald's or having a night out. All that is important to make sure that we strengthen the relationship, not only with the community, but with also state and local and federal law enforcement officers. Also, what I want to say, if you look at what we call smart policing, you got to look at those hot spots and put a little bit of time. And as you know, the old theory about the broken windows, there's a broken windows, you got to fix that because it leads to other type of crime. And it's important. This is what the chief and the officers and their detectives have been doing, is to make sure that we have a presence to disrupt criminal activity and make our streets safer. I want to say one thing, that if you look at the role of a police officer, they provide law and order in our society. And again, I'll say it again, a society without law and order is not a society. But there's a famous quote that I think describes what a policeman does, and that is that police first duty is to be a community leader. Think about that. The quote says the police first duty is to be a community leader, someone who protects and supports and helps their people. It's enforcing the law, but you're also a community leader in that particular area. So I just want to say to all of y'all, congratulations. I would say Laredo got the second highest grant in the state this year, right after San Antonio. San Antonio was telling me why, as well, there's different reasons. But anyway, Laredo knows how to advocate for those dollars. So I was lucky to get 4 grants in my congressional district. No other member of Congress did that. But the second largest in the state was here in Laredo. So to all of y'all, congratulations, and God bless. And Chief, to you and your men and women, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, Congressman, so much for all of that you do for us as well. Finally, we're proud to introduce the man who's leading our police force, ensuring that this funding, of course, will be put to use in making our streets safer. Please help me welcome our police chief, Miguel Rodriguez.
Thank you and good morning. First of all, I do want to thank Congressman Square for the support. Always be there for the Laredo Police Department, and more than anything for this community that is always in need of things, and we know we can't do it alone. So thank you also for your leadership and always being there for us. To our mayor, one of our biggest supporters, always pushing the note to get the officers that we need. We always talk about, okay, what's the magic number, right? And we always say 615, but then we look over to what developments are coming to Laredo and the port issues and all these things, and then we got to rethink that number, right? But for now, this 25 are going to be very, very crucial to our operations, and I do want to thank you for allowing us and bringing this to us. But I also want to thank to our management team. Our management team, is one that believes in us. If they don't believe in the vision that we have and the need that we have, these things don't get pushed. And I do want to thank Mr. Neb, our 2 assistant city managers, because every time that I go speak with them, the conversations that we have is mostly about what are your needs. And even though they make fun is that public safety takes half of everything, of this general fund, right? And more than half. we always come to an agreement that, you know, the need is the need, and we need to continue telling the public, this is important to us. And I always say it, right, we continue telling the public, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe, but the main objective of this department is to make the public feel safe themselves. And it's when you're out, and then for them to advocate that they feel safe. It's important. So, looking at the stats, you know, and having the media here, it paints a very good picture as to the kind of work and the quality of work that the police department here in Laredo does. Year to date, our murder rates are down, and knock on wood, we're keeping tabs on that, but at the end of the day, it's the men and women out there that are doing the hard work and making sure that we continue having these low rates in our city. The other thing also that I do want to thank our administration, our captains, the person that wrote this grant, Deputy Chief Edgar Garza, who's always in contact with our finance department over here, Yoli and Laura, and also Jesus Esparza, because he's the one that's always, you know, he always calling me and getting after me, right? But at the end of the day, we get things done. But what are we gonna do with this money, right? One of the things that we talked about with command, and everybody's asking the questions, what are you gonna do with 25 officers? Well, first we have to catch up to the vacancies that we have, to make sure that we put the officers where they're needed. Very much in line as to community policing is the presence of police, right? One of the main things that we do in police, and we do really well, is the response time, right? And so response time is one thing, but having the presence of police is what makes crime not happen. If you see a police officer, that's the highest possibility of the crime not happening, and that's what we want. We want that absence of crime. We can say that we have so many arrests, but that's not our objective. Here, the objective is to have the absence of crime. So having more police officers out there, and the community seeing that, and also the crooks seeing that there's police officers out there, the possibility of them committing crime goes a lot lower. So with this 25, the objective is to make sure that we look at the east sector of our police districts. That east sector, there's tremendous growth, and what I mean by the east sector is, well, now it's the south sector. What I mean about that growth is you got your baseball fields, you got about 3,800 residential lots in that area, and then we're looking at the area where we share the same responsibilities with the sheriff's office over there by Tocino Drive, which is our B12. That area has tremendous growth, and for us to have one police officer in that beat it's not working out for us. So we're adding another beat in that area, so that's gonna take about 12 officers. The other one that we're enhancing and we're growing is our north sector, which is our warehouse district. The growth there in the port is just tremendous. We just cannot keep up with it. You know, when we have warehouses being built that are 1 million square feet, and we have a lot of people working in those warehouses, we need to make sure that our response time we're gonna get there. And right now, if we're going from Rancho Viejo all the way to Green Ranch, it's gonna take us a long time. So we need to make sure that we create a beat there where officers are already in that area and be readily available to respond. So this is what we're doing with this 25. We also spoke to DOJ and we talked to the COPS program in Washington. We did tell him, and I'm telling the media here, the conversation that we had, it was our critical infrastructure. Sometimes our bridges are not looked at, right? That's critical for us. We need to make sure that we keep them safe and we keep them protected away from anybody that wants to cause any harm to them. Our water is very important. Anything that has to do with cyber is very important. So we're gonna be allocating some resources to our JTTF, our FBI JTTF task force. We're also gonna be including some resources to our Homeland Security Investigation Task Force because it's needed. The other one is the biggest problem, which is with our DA partners, our fentanyl problem, which by the way, I'm happy to announce that we're 36%, we have a 36% decrease year to date this year, which is great compared to the national average of 3%. So great job not only by the law enforcement community, but the city, the state, everybody that came to play for this. So again, a lot of work to do with the police department, but more than anything is we now have the 25, we now move forward, and we become more efficient. And at the end of the day, everything that we talked about with our command is service to the community, making sure that we service the community, and at the end of the day, continue having the conversations as to how they want to be policed, right? It's very important that we have that conversation. And more than anything is, when we pick up the phone, and they don't have to be waiting for an officer for 2 hours for a minor accident, that's gonna be the day when we can respond in about 30 minutes to an accident. Because right now, that's how long we're taking, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours for a minor accident, because we're attending to other calls. So, again, thank you very much, Congressman, Mayor, Ms. Rosa, thank you very much for being here, and our city managers and our command for being here, and the media for always being here for us. Thank you very much.
Chief, if you can just join us, and I would ask also our congressman, our mayor, and also management and your staff to come up here so that we can take the picture with the check. And again, thank you everyone for being here together. We're just building a safer and stronger community together. Thank you so much.